This week on the Retro Hunting Adventures, we're taking a look at Neo Geo Pocket Color imports from Japan. Stay tuned, the Retro Hunting Adventures starts after these words from MegaManFan.
Yo, this is MegaManFan, and you need to rock and or roll on over to Mr. MegaManFan's YouTube channel, because it's all that rush to make it happen. Peace!
As always, I'm your host, Mr. MegaManFan. From the opening of this game, you might be getting kind of excited. It sure looks a lot like a Casino Night Zone from a Sonic the Hedgehog game, or maybe some sort of Sonic Spinball/Pinball type spin-off. Well, it is a game made by Sega, but no, it is not a Sonic game. This is called the Curryman 2000 Viva Pocket Festival, and it connects to a similarly titled game, the Curryman 2000 for Dreamcast. There was link functionality between certain Neo Geo Pocket Color and certain Sega Dreamcast games. Famously, Sonic Adventure is the one that everybody knows about, but less famously, the Curryman. Now, the only good source of information I could find for this game was a Curryman fandom website, and this is how they describe it. This is a collection of minigames. The player selects Sei Tenshi Takaru or Tenjo Pochi to move around a park and play the attractions. One of the minigames is free and can be used to gain coins, with the other attractions requiring coins to participate. The player gains more coins according to their score in the games, and in some attractions, a rare seal can be obtained. Besides being used to participate in minigames, the coins can be spent in slot machines to obtain seals from the Bug Akuma vs. Giga Tenchi Seals series, which can be seen later in a museum. At first, only a few minigames are available, with more being unlocked by completing objectives. That seems reasonable, doesn't it? It seems like, wow, I should really be able to have some fun with this. I should be able to play some mini games, compete in some Mario Party style arcade action, and then use whatever coins I gain to unlock more mini games, just like playing the Mario Party round as opposed to playing the board game round, where you just play the mini games freely at random or select specific ones that you want to revisit. But unfortunately, there are extensive dialogue trees in this game, and they're all in Japanese, and sadly to my detriment, I cannot read it. So I never even managed to find the free minigame that the Curryman wiki mentioned is available. All I found was a lot of characters telling me a lot of things and nobody letting me do much of anything. I'll say this, they're well drawn, they look cute, they've got big anime eyes. The music is decent, not the best thing I've ever heard, but I wouldn't throw it under a bus and back up over it and run it over again. I mean, there's some charm to be had here. These really large sprites on a Neo Geo Pocket Color certainly stand out compared to a lot of other games. And there's definitely some wackiness. That one elderly character looked like either a tree stump or a taiko drum, or maybe some sort of cross between the two. I'm sure he's got lots of things to tell me that would help me progress in this game, but without an English language patch, I'm afraid the Curryman 2000 Viva Festival is a pass. But you know, at the time I got my Neo Geo Pocket Color, I had very few games. None were being sold in stores by 2005. So I made the decision to import a whole bunch of games and try my luck. Now, Cool Borders seemed like one that should be easy enough to make some progress with because of the fact that Cool Borders was a big franchise on PlayStation, so it seemed to me like a fairly safe bet. And yes, you can control it without knowing Japanese, but the problem is the controls are horrible. Trying to steer around these obstacles is a nightmare. Trying to jump over the chasms on the course as you're snowboarding downhill, very difficult to do. Avoiding the animals like that bear, yeah, it's game over pretty quickly. And then, for whatever reason, as I was recording the emulator footage of this game, it just stopped producing sound altogether. I have no idea why, and the controls were so stiff and frustrating that I honestly didn't care. Honestly, at that point, I threw in the towel. I was happy to see game over. I was ready to move on, and I've got more Japanese Neo Geo Pocket Color games that we can take a look at, so there's nothing more to offer here. We go on to a train simulation game. That's right, the exciting world of running trains on time. I know this is a big thing in Japan. They have tons of train simulators. There's even PlayStation controllers that mimic a train conductor's actual levers that he pulls and pushes to move the trains along the rails. But I once again am stymied by my unfamiliarity with most of the written Japanese language. I can understand bits and pieces of spoken language. I can't read the written language, so I have no idea how to get this train underway, and the game is very obtuse in telling me what to do, and then gives me a timer that counts down to failure for not getting the train moving. And once again, I decided that was a lesson for me that I should move on. So Densha de Go 2 is a Densha de No Go for me. And now we get to the one import game I have that I was actually able to have some fun with and really enjoy myself. This one was called Puzzle Link, and it was never sold in the United States. This playable version that I have is the European release. I believe it had a physical release in Japan as well, but this is the one that I've got, so we're just going to run with it from there. If you've played any of the Pipe Mania type games where you have to rotate and connect pipes together, you'll be a little bit familiar with the concept of this game, but it takes it in a completely different direction, and instead of rotating your pipe puzzle pieces, you're shooting them. Yes, you actually connect the pipes together by shooting them at the playfield, and periodically new rows are added to the top, pushing the other rows down closer to you, and if they get all the way to the bottom, it's game over, man. Game over! So you've got to clear out these pipes by connecting whichever colors are related, and once you make those connections, everything that you connected together is destroyed in one big boom. And if you destroy enough blocks on any given level, you get a C, and those C's have to be cleared figuratively and literally. You have to clear the path around them to connect them together, and then you have to make a path from one C to the other, and once you do that, the level ends. Of course, you can play for points. You don't have to clear right away, but if you're getting close to the top, or the bottom, I should say, since it's in reverse, then you want to go for that clear and get the level over with and make progress to the next level. So if you were looking for import games for Neo Geo Pocket Color, I would say Puzzle Link is a very good place to start. In fact, this might be the only Japanese Neo Geo Pocket Color game I own other than Rockman Battle and Fighters that I can, with all credibility, say you don't need to know Japanese to play this game. A lot of the other import games that I own were also released in North America, like Crush Roller and Pac-Man, so I can't really count those as Japanese games. Even though I imported them, they're also already localized in North America. So this one, not released here, available in Europe, and I would suggest checking it out. it's a puzzle game, which means it's not going to be super fancy or super complicated, but it is fun. I would even say addictive. I could have actually gone on playing this for longer than the amount of time I spent in this video, but I was also probably just really happy that I found one Japanese game that I could actually play out of all the ones that I own. And that's not to say there aren't Neo Geo Pocket Color games in Japanese that are playable that I don't own. That's a topic for a future video, so feel free to make suggestions in the comments below or tweet me at Mr. MegaManFan, MrMegamanFan, if there are Neo Geo Pocket Color games that you recommend that are imports that can be played if you don't know Japanese, or just games that you like, that you're fond of, that you'd like to see covered on the channel. I'm going to try to keep doing these import game showcases wherever I can now and then to keep interest alive in playing games other than the ones that normally are available to North American gamers. I think it's a underexplored avenue of interest in the retro gaming scene, because there is so much out there that's already known and played and so little talked about, at least in our market, when it comes to imports that you can play. And I call them not necessarily undiscovered gems because they're well known in Japan, Europe, wherever these games come from, but they are definitely obscure to the North American market. And in a lot of cases, they really shouldn't be, because some of these games were in English to begin with, and some of them, like this Puzzle Link game, require no knowledge of anything other than solving puzzles. And it even says round clear in English at the end, and start at the beginning, and pause when you pause it. I mean, it's in English, so what else can I say? Well, I can end on a somber note here. This is Mizazi Kanji-u, and I own it complete in box, and for the life of me, I can't tell you why. The music is really good, the sound effects are okay, but it's a quiz game, and the entire quiz is in Japanese, and you've got a 1 in 4 chance of being right if you just select something at random, and I actually got a few right at first just by dumb luck, and then I hit a whole string of X's, which every time you hit the X, that's wrong. So I can't recommend this one. In fact, I would go out of my way to avoid this one unless you're a Japanese speaker, and even then, is a quiz game like this with a 1 out of 4 chance of being right or wrong even going to be that much fun? I suspect not. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you next time. Peace out.